Welcome to the Sisa Dukashe Stadium here in the vibrant community of Mdantsane. What a fixture we have today as Swallows and Winter Rose look to add another chapter into this book of an incredible rivalry. It's the fourth installment of SuperSport's Rugby Festival, and what an occasion. The crowd is pouring in. As has been a feature for these festivals, it's free entrance here at the Sisa Stadium today, and it is just an incredible atmosphere that is building. The weather's beautiful, there's a bit of a breeze, it's a bit cooler than yesterday, but everything looks set for a fantastic day of rugby. Here we have the Winter Rose lineup. We have the captain Lindani in the front row, and quite a short lock pairing of Mpendu and Sitole. But otherwise, players to look out for today is the fly of Lukela. A lot of promise around him. And then also at fullback, Bongani Zwane, one to look out for. The Swallows team, full of experience with border players all over the place. We have Setu Tom at inside centre, who has represented Shimlas at Varsity Cup level. We have Lelo Kamasha, another one to look out for, and Manensa filling in at fullback. And don't forget about Minkaza, the 43-year-old captain, full of experience, full of life. He's not stopping anytime soon. There we see the log. Swallows enjoying a stellar season, just losing that one game against the WSU All Blacks. Coming in third position, just behind the All Blacks on points difference. And there we have Winter Rose getting off to a slow start, but coming into this game with some nice momentum, winning their last two games. And there, as we see Severe Lindani about to lead out this Winter Rose team, I'd like to take this opportunity to welcome into commentary with me today a man many know as the voice of South African rugby and South African broadcasting in general, Gavin Cowley. Gav, just how important is this rivalry for grassroots rugby in South Africa?
I think the rivalry is one thing. I think the fact that we're bringing rugby to the communities is even more important, because there's a lot of people that maybe just around the corner, it's a lot easier for them, maybe it's a lot more affordable to come and watch on a field that they feel very comfortable. So these stadia, the Bill Jardine Stadium, this one here, the Sisa Dukashe Stadium, and that just do so much, I think, you know, to create heroes for young people that are around here. And this team here, the Winter Rose, as you said, you know, and we've heard a little bit earlier, might be under the cosh a little bit. They are the away team, so they come out first. And this will be the Swallows team, perhaps more highly fancied today.
No, definitely a bitter rivalry between these two clubs. One of the key players that has represented both these teams, as many might know, Makazola Mapipi, a superstar for the Southern Kings this season, actually switched allegiance from Winter Rose to Swallows, causing a bit of bad blood between the two, but adding to the spice of this rivalry.
You might see a little youngster in that huddle there, and he essentially is the ball boy. He brought the ball out, put it down in the middle, and he's in that huddle too, enjoying whatever words are going to be said here by the captain before the kickoff.
Just an incredible occasion, bringing rugby back to the community, free entrance to the stadium, and the crowds have really not let us down as they've started to pour in. I mean, the stadium has filled up drastically in the last 5 minutes alone, so I can't imagine what an incredible atmosphere is going to be created as the day goes on.
So the referee today's match is Archie Salako, who's a very, very interesting young man, I've got to say, and a wonderful opportunity for him to also, I'm not sure if he's actually refereed on this field before, you never know, but as much for the players, it'll be an occasion for him too.
Yes, lovely to see rugby back at the Sisa Dukashe Stadium here in Mdantsane, a stadium that was originally built for the purpose of rugby, but has drifted a little bit towards soccer in recent times. Swallows will get us on the way here. Stenele with a high hanging kick. It's just floated out on the full. And referee will give the option to Winter Rose.
Never an ideal way to start. The wind is blowing downfield, so it's actually at the backs of the Winter Rose team, playing from right to left as you look at your screen. And, you know, judging kicks become really, really important. But tactically, it'll be interesting to see how maybe the underdogs, the Winter Rose team in green, how they play this game. Do they try and use the boot a little bit more with the wind at their back? Are they able to take them on up front? And maybe this first scrum will give us an idea.
Should be a fascinating contest, and we didn't have to wait long for our first scrum of the day, as Viule Nyulu looks to feed the first scrum. Squirts out the back, well cleaned up by the 8-man Sazela. And Nyulu, that's his captain, Lindani, with an early touch. Putting it onto the boots early there. Likela taken in by the fullback for Swallows. That's Nofemene looking for an early touch, but again out on the full. The wind playing an early factor in this game.
Nofemene, the fullback of Swallows, also not able to judge that wind properly. They call him a banner, by the way, and I think a little bit of that has to do with Brian Abana and his pace, but he's a great favourite, is the fullback, Sipho Nofemene.
Well, he must be very popular in the community to get a nickname like Abana, one of the biggest legends in South African rugby history. Messy line out there for Winter Rose.
Always tough on a windy day to get things right, you know. One feels for a hooker, one feels for a fullback, one feels sometimes for the wingers. They don't really know part of the game, so it's really tough playing with this wind as it is at the moment.
Kota will feed the line out for Swallows. Taken there by Nomboyo. Swallows look to set the early maul. Kota in control at the back, making some good early meters here. But the captain, Lindani, comes through the middle. Brings it down nicely. There's Mkeza. Just coming off the side of the boot there from Stenele. Winter Rose looking to hold him up.
Get back.
That's the hooker. Good hands there by the Swallows backs. It's a bit of space out wide. That's the left wing. Siapati. Oh, but that's a great tackle by the right wing. A corner Luhabe of Winter Rose, and a frantic start. A little bit messy, but Swallows with ball in hand looking dangerous early.
Especially as they're playing into the wind where the ball tends to drift a little bit back to you, so a bit easier to carry it sometimes, but they found a good overlap there, and Bati looks like he's got plenty of running too. Just one other point as well, Matthew, you asked earlier about rugby in the communities. One of the things that we must remember too is that these clubs that are playing in the Gold Cup, you know, the Swallows were founded in 1911 and the Winter Rose in 1933, so there's a huge history that exists with these clubs too. This is nothing new, you know, and unfortunately it's not really been showcased in the past, and here we have an opportunity with this Gold Cup to see the young people, and some of them not so young in these teams, you know, playing in this Gold Cup.
Into the midfield, Winter Rose. Good little jink off the left there by the centre. Simani, one of the smallest men on the field, but a massive heart. That's the 8-man Sisele for Winter Rose.
You're fine, but he must roll away first. You must roll away first.
Referee Saleko says that Swallows just didn't roll away there, and Winter Rose will have a perfect opportunity to set up a line-up, set up a line-out in great attacking position. Yes, Gav, as we were speaking about, the wind is playing a huge factor here today, and it's not surprising, being that the Sisa Dukashe Stadium is actually the highest point in the township of Mdantsane, which is very interesting to know. As we can see from up here, the view is superb. I mean, what a setting for today's fixture.
Yeah, it is, and a wonderful playing surface too. And I don't know if you had a chance to walk out. I just went out and walked on the field, and a quite heavy field, but really well grassed, and a fantastic venue. This it really is.
It's Langeni feeding the line out, just gone over the back. Unable to gather. It's the 8th man, Mdantsane of Swallows. Winterrose with another perfect attacking opportunity. And they'll be looking to get some early points on the board here. Here we can see that main grandstand is filling up by the second. Really is wonderful to see the community supporting this initiative so nicely.
Well, the team on your right there, which is Winterrose, playing right to left, is a team that actually had its roots in Stutterheim, which is another area in the border. I don't know, well, you know the border area, but there's a lot of German names, of course, you know, from German settlers many years ago. So Berlin and Frankfurt and these sort of names are dominant. But Stutterheim was essentially the roots of where they came from. And both of these clubs, really, there's a lot of interplay with players. So there's huge rivalry, as you said earlier, between these two clubs. And a lot of it sometimes has to do with where people can find employment, you know, and a lot of the players, unfortunately, on the field are unemployed. But I was just looking at the Winterrose team as well. And of their starting 15, 9 of them are over the age of 30. It's quite remarkable.
Bind.
No, it really is. You have to commend these players who they aren't professional rugby players. A lot of them have 9-to-5 jobs, and they come out and they put their bodies on the line here. And it's just really a commend. It's just great spirit from the boys.
That's a terrific scrum, that, from the Swallows. We saw that first up scrum. They looked dominant that time, well controlled with the ball, and unfortunately the Winterrose player put his hand in there and tried to move it through. So the penalty opportunity, it's into the teeth of the wind, so it's very important that Stemele gets this kick out.
So he makes sure of the touch there, halfway up the stand.
I'm not sure if it was you
Swallows
or
will have
one of you.
put into the line out
in
in a nice attacking position. Yes, Gav, you spoke about the grass being beautiful on the field. Peter Mosamani didn't think so when Swallows played Chipper United here a few weeks ago, complaining about the field, using it as an excuse for the 1-1 draw.
Well, that normally comes about when there's a draw or loss, doesn't it?
Good carry there by Koya.
He's in a position of strength.
First man in there, securing the turnover, is a Zola Marti for Winterrose.
Holding.
And then nullify that attack early on.
Well, Super Tom, the man there, just came flying down, found a little bit of space to work in, and the former Grey College boy from Bloemfontein just has unfortunately resulted in a penalty against them. But good on Winterrose. I think their focus might be a little bit on the breakdown points to try and, because they certainly are outgunned in the scrums, as we can see. There is Super Tom, right over the ball. He had all the rights to it, so won the penalty.
Fantastic appreciation of the law there by Marty. Messy ball again. Cleaned up, and that's a big charge by the big number 5, Mboyo.
Use it.
2 meters tall and 105 kgs. That is a difficult man to stop. Gamashe taking it into contact next. Mkazi, great delivery off the base of the rock. It's the outside center. Ngilitema, a good run early on. Hands just letting Swallows down there. But a good idea with the number 1, just looking for the ball off of the shoulder. He would have been into the gap, and how good would that have been to see as Mkande streaming down the field.
Well, this is unfortunately, in the Gold Cup matches that we've seen this season, perhaps the Achilles heel for most teams has been handling and the number of handling errors, sadly. And it's just made it a little bit more difficult when there's you play rugby on a windy day.
Crouch.
Swallows look to have some early dominance in the scrums.
Sit.
Which is always important to dominate the set pieces, especially in these big rivalry games. You want to assert your dominance over the opponent, and another big scrum by the Swallows front row. Winter Rose have recycled that though. Lukele. That's a great break by the number 13. That's Simani looking for the inside ball. Koya to the big number 5. Sitole taken just more than 5 meters short, and the referee is playing advantage. No clear release, the call. Winter Rose will look to recycle this quickly, and the referee says no advantage. And Winter Rose will have the penalty right in front. Perfect opportunity to put points on the board. But what a break by Simani. As I said earlier, one of the smallest players on the field, but a burst of acceleration, a big heart, and just fantastic play by the outside centre of Winter Rose.
Well, it's an indication once again that when you play out wide, there's generally more space to work with. So good play from Magele there to set things up, just to get things going. He's a librarian by occupation.
Can we just move
Well, the hands are up there, but Archie Salaka right on the spot. The penalty, it's a relatively easy kick this, and a good chance for the first points of the match. Played Craven Week for Border in 2009. Didley Kola comes from Matata, up north.
Yes, a lot of promise around this player. I was speaking to the Winter Rose coach before kickoff, and he said he has enjoyed a stellar season so far. He really is one to look out for today. Swipe of the left boot, straight through the middle, and Winter Rose are on the board. 11 minutes in, they lead 3 points to 0.
Well, perhaps a little bit against the run of play, but importantly, the space was sought, it was found. There was some really good pressure, and I spoke just now about on the ground, the work on the ground done by Winter Rose. If they're not going to dominate the scrums, which doesn't look like they're going to, or have some sort of parity in the lineouts, they've got to try and win as much as they can on the ground.
Fantastic kickoff there by Stenele, hanging it up in the wind. And Swallows come away with possession. Mkaza finds Gadushe. Mkaza out wide. That's Militema breaking the line into the 22. Swallows on attack.
Tackle only, play on.
Good ball there. That's the hooker. Kota. Strong run. Mkaza. Stenele looking out wide. There's some space. Dummy thrown by Sibeko. Still space out wide. Mkaza, and they will go into the corner, the right wing. Mangazi gets the first try of the day, and Swallows have got on the board. What a fantastic try. Forwards and backs working together. And Mangazi, once he saw the open line in front of him, nobody was going to stop him. Great try by Swallows.
Well, there was some terrific play once, got to say, from Kota right up front. What he did was he actually straightened the line, really got things going. That opened up the space. And I think if Sibeko has another look at that, the big number 4 lock, he would say, you know, I should have just maybe offloaded, because we did have extra men, but somehow they managed to get it. And the Swallows team generally, when they're moving the ball, actually look quite a slick side. So super try there from Stenele.
Stenele will look to add the extra 2 points to his try. Win just taking it away to the left. But Swallows take the lead 5 points to 3. 13 minutes in.
Well, just have a look at this. You know, that just prior to that, they straightened up the line well, and then unfortunately Sibeko went in. But just have a look at that 3-on-1 situation. Shows how effective you can be on a rugby field if you move the ball just simply through one hand to the next. Sometimes players try and throw it past 3 men to the quickest man on the field, but space gets closed down too quickly when you do that.
Lukele getting us back underway. Mkaza just letting it bounce. Gamasha cleans up. To the fly off Stenele. Finding a good touch. But Winter Rose will have possession here. Very important from Swallows there. They hit back straight away, and Winter Rose will be looking to do the same here.
Yeah, they've got to try and make sure that they get some level of good possession from the lineouts. You know, they're working really hard at the breakdown point of Winter Rose.
at the back of the line out. Taken there. That's a big charge up and a big handoff. Another big handoff. Looking for the inside ball. Just couldn't hang on to it. There's Mdantsane.
Blue, leave it now from the side. Use it.
Swallows looking for the counter-ruck. They're cleaned up nicely by Nyulu and Likela.
Side.
Just couldn't hang on to it, but the referee says that Swallows were offside. And Winter Rose will have a penalty to get out of their own half.
While we were calling for a good throw-in the line-out, it didn't happen.
Captain.
Let's just hear what the referee's got to say here.
We need to improve the discipline around the breakdown. Okay.
What come on.
Okay, yeah, so you've considered 3 penalties. Side entry, rolling away and holding on. And now we had a guy coming from the side and then we had it offside.
Can I just a second?
I'll give you the moment.
Very neatly done by Archie Salaka, I think. Just very clear. 3 indiscretions.
Okay.
Talk to your team, otherwise I'm going to my pocket.
Yes, wonderful to see referees communicating clearly with the players, so the players know exactly what is expected of them.
Side.
The last thing they want to do is get into the bad books of the referee. As Likele looks for touch and finds it between the 10-meter and the 22. Another good attacking position for Winter Rose.
Wasn't that a great run as well from Lelo Gamashi from the back of that line out, where unfortunately that ball was thrown over the back by Winter Rose. But the rangy flanker who studies at Walter Sisulu University was quite fleet of foot.
Well taken this time for Winter Rose. Setting up the maul. Referee calling use it or lose it. And they weren't able to use it, so they have lost it. And Swallows will have the put into the scrum. Yes, Gav, alluding back to Gamasha, he also represented the Bulldogs last year. Very successful career so far. Drafted into the Swallows team for today, obviously for the big rivalry. And having a very good early impact with that strong run.
Yep, well there you can, they're basically all over the place there. The ball was still off the ground, so the referee has reversed that and offered the put in to the Swallows team. And of course they'll be relishing every time they can scrum the Swallows. They're so dominant, so no pressure on Makaza, the scrum half. He can really launch from there.
Fine.
Yes, the forwards have set up a very nice platform for the halfback pairing so far. Always a fly half's dream when your forward pack is on the front foot. There, that scrum wheeled a little bit, but the referee are judging that it didn't go forward before it started to wheel, and Swallows will have the put in, or will have the penalty rather.
You got to earn the turn.
You're very kind to Winter Rose, I've got to say. They deliberately wheeled that. This is the only way out, really, with the pressure that they're under. I suppose you and I would have perhaps tried the same thing. But Archie Salaka is a smart man. He picks it up.
Yes, very good. For those viewers who don't know at home, the scrum has to go forward first before it starts to wheel. And as we saw there, Winter Rose wheeling it straight off the start, just to try and get a bit of, just get back into the scrums a little bit.
Okay, we've got to stay on that mark.
And there we saw, wheeling straight off the start, Archie Salako picking it up straight away. And Swallows finding touch in the Winter Rose half. Quarter will feed the line out. Good competing at the front there by Sitole for Winter Rose. And there's the captain, Lindani, as Winter Rose come away with possession. Inyulu. Good handoff by Marty. Strong carry. Well tackled by Mkazi there. There's number 8, Sazela. No chance he was passing there.
Backwards, play on.
Winter Rose still in possession. Inyulu just couldn't hang on to it. There was Budaza. The 31-year-old will be disappointing with that. But Winter Rose spoiling Swallows' ball at the breakdown and proving to be a real nuisance today so far.
Remember we spoke about
that? Really, Winter Rose have done well at the breakdown point there.
Stay where you are.
Unfortunately, Bunta Budaza, with a turnover possession, would have liked to have done something. They call him Burger. And I'm pretty sure he's named after Skalkberger, playing in the same position as him.
He's just missing those long golden locks.
Which, by the way, are becoming quite sparse these days.
What's wrong, James?
Don't let Skalk hear you say that, Gav.
You're on the outside.
Skalk is everywhere.
All right.
I tell you what, this Winter Rose team really at the breakdowns, they are very, and I keep saying it, but it's very evident, you know. Strong efforts from them, from many of their players, Langeni, Jack, we've seen Budaza, Setoli, Mapendu. They're around that ball, they really are fighting for it.
Speaking to the coach beforehand, he said they did have some really good preparation before this game. And clearly it looks like the breakdown was a focus during the week and paying dividends so far.
Bind! Sit!
Much better scrum by Winter Rose. Taken off the back there by Mdantsane.
Leave it out, Green, leave it!
Mkaza. Swallows looking for some width. They found it. Looking for the extra man out wide. That's the right wing. Mangazi.
No. Right. You 12. Deliberate knock. Okay, that's cynical. You got it. Deliberate knock.
Referee judging that Lukaniso Makele deliberately knocking it down there and preventing a try scoring opportunity.
Well, some massive pressure here, but a good offload. And the one thing that, well, that was right at the tail end with the deliberate knockdown, but some slick handling from the Swallows team in carrying that ball up.
Good line out.
Back. Okay, now you can come up.
Kota in possession at the back. The Swallows look to just
you've detached and
change
gone to
lanes
the
there.
side. Obstruction.
Yeah, referee judges obstruction. Winter Rose will be very happy with that.
Went to the side.
Just a bit of obstruction at the back of that Swallows maul. And referee picking it up straight away. With these new laws at the maul, you have to have it right down to the tee.
JP, just speak
because
up.
the referees are looking out for that obstruction more and more as the mauls have become such a lethal weapon in rugby in today's society.
Well, it was such a good set from the line out as well. They really had everything going for them, and unfortunately it fractured, and they then changed lanes and quite rightly obstructing, but still it's an attacking position this for the Swallows team, and yet another test for Winter Rose on the line-outs. Line-outs not going great for them at the moment. Can they improve on that?
Okay, sure. All right. Thanks.
Yes, as we alluded to before, they do have a massive height advantage to Swallows in the lock pairing. But Winter Rose looked to have secured that ball, and they come away with it. Looking to run the ball out early. That's Zwane, the fullback.
Stop.
Putting ball to boot. But well gathered by the Swallows fullback. That's Nofemene. Or should we say Habana? Linesman had his flag up though, just a foot in touch. It looks like Winter Rose will have the put into the line out.
He's a real Euro down here, and you can just hear the crowd start erupting when he gets the ball because he likes to run with it. He's pretty quick too, a good step, and he hasn't had too many opportunities, but unfortunately this time just stepping into touch. And that was very marginal as well, wasn't it?
Winter Rose unable to secure that line out ball. Mkaza. Winter Rose looked to have stolen that again. Inyulu throwing the dummy. As Danele looked to hold him up in the tackle. There's a bit of space out wide. They just couldn't get ball to hand. As Koya had a lot of space in front of him, that would have been very interesting if the ball had gone to hand. But instead Swallows will have the put in again in very good attacking position.
We spoke about the importance of just moving it through the hands, not these long passes, especially with the wind as it is. And unfortunately, Winter Rose not getting that right. But one's got to give credit to Swallows too. Their defensive strategy is a very good one. So they're putting pressure other side of the advantage line on Winter Rose. And Winter Rose haven't really dominated territory, despite the fact that they've got the wind at their back.
The ball is your offside line. All right. Crouch.
Mkaza will feed the scrum. Very strong start to the game by the 43-year-old.
Sit.
Good shove by the Swallows front row.
Use the blue.
Mkaza peeling off there was Gamashe. Just looking to get his hands to the tackle. Was set to Tom, just unable to do so. But referee are judging that Winter Rose were up too quickly. The Swallows will have another penalty. Looking to go quickly is Gamashe. Out wide. That's a great run there by Nomboyo. Nomboyo charging up to the line. Just taken short. Mkaza. Hold up there in the tackle by Sitole. Good defense by Winter Rose. Again.
You gotta release first.
Proving to be a nuisance on the ground.
Gotta release first.
But the referee, Solako, are judging that no clear daylight there. And Swallows will have another penalty.
Scrum.
Yeah, they've called for a scrum, which is the right thing to do, you know. Winter Rose down to 14 men. They opted for a 7-man scrum in the last time because they knew they wouldn't win it. But they're going to have to try and beef up this scrum 5 meters out, because otherwise they could get pushed over the line.
There's real danger with the scrum in the red zone for Swallows.
Crouch.
Well, interesting, they've still gone with a 7-man scrum.
Bind. Cheers. The kind of movement you're making is the sort of movement you'll expect from crabs, all right? Okay, we're humans, we go straight and forward in the scrum, all right? So we can sort that out, all right? Thanks. There's your mark.
Isn't that lovely? What a lovely description. We're humans, not crabs. We go forwards, not sideways.
Lovely touch there by Archie, telling his front rows exactly what he expects from them.
Crouch. Stay there. Bind. Sit.
Mkaza being the scrum. Strong push. Mkaza taking it off the back, looking for the handoff. There he goes, and he is over. Yonkama Mkaza, the 43-year-old, the most experienced man on the field. 23, 43? I really couldn't tell there, Gav.
Yeah, the most experienced and the oldest man, but wonderful to see. You know, as he said a little bit earlier, age is perhaps just in the mind, but manages to shrug off 2 very weak tackles there from Winter Rose, but lovely play from him. And I think just releasing that ball quickly from the scrum might have caught Winter Rose a little bit unawares. They might have been expecting, you know, an 8-man scrum to push them over the line.
Lovely 8-line move off the back of that scrum. Using the big blind side. And Mkaza getting over for the try. Conversion is good by Stanele. And Swallows extend their lead by 12 points to 3. Coming up to the half-hour mark.
Oh, once again, a strong scrum and a lovely platform for Mkaza to work off. He had men on his outside, decided to go himself. And well, managed to shrug off those 2 tackles, but Winter Rose have got to get their defensive strategy sorted out. You know, it's just, it could become a real issue for them in the second half, because they're into the wind as well, and they're probably going to spend a lot of time close to their goal line.
Ikwela restarting for Winter Rose. Well collected by Nomboyo. He's had a strong first half. The big lock from Swallows. And another strong run by Gamashe.
Tackle only, play on.
Well tackled by Marty from Winter Rose. Mkaza, just Anele. Looking for width. That's 22. That's Mlungise Bai. Oh, that's a big tackle by Semani. My word. What a hit. Mlungise Bai looked to be in a bit of space, but Semani was having none of it. Great tackle by the outside centre from Winter Rose.
Interesting, Winter Rose have called for a short line out, and maybe that'll see a change in fortune for them.
Good feed by Lingeni there. Little dink over the top by Likwele. on the left wing. That's Siapati. Siapati gathering wild for Swallows. Senele just couldn't find a man. Swallows will have to clean this up. And it is the big number 1 in Gamde. Well tackled by Sitole. There's Stenele. Stenele to Gamashe. Gamashe to Gadushe. Gamashe again. Just lost forward in contact. And lost again by Winter Rose as they look to counter. Double knock there. But Winter Rose will have the put in.
Well, that's an indication there of some good pressure from Winter Rose, and I spoke about the advantage line just now, getting over that, just making sure that the Swallows forwards have got to turn and go backwards, and that's the sort of pressure you don't want as a rugby player. But Winter Rose now, with the scrum, bearing in mind, of course, that they're 1 short too, what do? Can they get it in and out very quickly?
It'll be very interesting to see how they set up on attack here.
Bind.
It's got to be channel 1 ball, and it's got to fly out for Little and Yulu. He's only 63 kilograms as the scrum off.
Well taken at the back there by Sizela. Lukela putting it onto the boot. Well done by Party. Giving it off to Nofemene. Nofemene, oh, just losing it in contact. He looks a real bag of excitement with ball in hand as Winter Rose have the advantage.
Ripped in the tackle. First infringement.
The referee says no advantage there as Winter Rose will have the put in.
Yeah, just not good finishing off here, unfortunately, but superb running, and you can just see the qualities that the fullback has. And again, an opportunity for him to be showcased, you know. The man who comes from Fort Beaufort, he's not a big fella, but he's really quite quick, sturdy man who's not able to finish off. And I think that's been part of the Swallows' challenge in this first half. They've started moves quite well, and then they just haven't managed to finish it off with either a forward pass or a knock-on or some other indiscretion.
Yes, and then obviously Winter Rose proving to be a nuisance at the breakdown, nullifying a lot of Swallows' attacks so far.
Good to see as well that Sazela has taken off the pressure of his scrum half here for Winter Rose with the pickups at the back. As soon as that ball becomes available, he picks up and moves wide so that they don't take that pressure from the Swallows team.
Yes, a very underappreciated job of the 8th man is controlling that scrum from the back, especially when this scrum is under a bit of pressure. Controlling it at the back, picking it up and taking that pressure off of his scrum off and his fly off and just setting up that ruck.
Crouch. Bind.
Inyulu feed the scrum. There we see again Sazela taking off the back. Lukela with a lovely move out to his fullback. Zwane putting it onto the boots. Maybe not the right option with the flying Koya outside of him, but lovely play by Lukela, the Border Craven Week product. A little bit of a Lionel Cronje move there. Slick hands. Defense didn't really know how to defend that. There we see. Oh, it's beautiful play. Bit disappointing from Zwane there. He was in a bit of space. Probably should have kept ball in hand. A little bit of a messy line out for Swallows, but cleaned up by Stenele. Just hasn't found touch, but lost forward in the tackle by Koya. That was another big hit.
It's only a penalty
by the Swallows men. It's been a very physical first half. Some big hits. Really doing this rivalry justice.
It's only a penalty if it prevents you guys from playing the ball. So it's the accidental.
Well, good explanation there again from Archie Silako to the players who were just trying to understand why they didn't get a penalty for a man fielding the ball in an offside position.
Here's a mark.
Yes, very difficult for the man in that offside position to get out the way. Accidental offside, probably the right call.
Crouch. Bind.
Had a lot of scrums in this first half, which will suit Swallows quite nicely. Mkaze looks to feed this one.
Use it.
Mkaze. Penalty to Swallows. Referee judging that Winterrose just kicking the ball out of the scrum there. Stanele will look to set up the line out. Nice kick into the wind by the fly-off. Winterrose with the put in just inside, Swallows with the put in rather, just inside Winterrose half.
Line out there, gents. You good there.
They've been running the ball from everywhere today. Be surprised if they don't do the same here. Mkaze spotting the gap through the middle. Nice work there by the scrum half. Ngamde. Another strong run. Stanele. Finding some space out wide again. That's the outside centre. Mdantsane. Just couldn't hang on to it, and again Swallows handling, just letting them down after creating some nice space out wide.
Last one.
Their backline is full of running, there's no question about it, and there's some really, really good talent there and a lot of speed too. This is one of them, but unfortunately, you know, the control of the ball there on that occasion by Super Tom was not what it should have been. And I think to a certain extent, you know, sometimes you can rest on your laurels when you know you're very dominant in the scrum, that you can actually take the opposition on. So yes, it is a knock-on, but we can actually take the scrum on, we can push them back. And it's a false sense of security, in my opinion, you know. Nobody knocks on purpose, but maybe the concentration levels need to be a little bit better from the Swallows team.
Bind. Sit.
Inyulu feed the scrum for Winterrose. Another strong shove by Swallows, and again brilliantly cleaned up at the back by Sizela, securing possession for Winterrose. Lukela for the little chip over the top, finding a bit of space, and he's got it back. Lukela, brilliant play by the fly-off, spotting a gap off the fringe there, and another big handoff. It's Marty for Winterrose with the strong surge upfield. Inyulu, Lukela, the man who started all of this. Simani, well tackled by his opposite number. Inyulu finding his fullback Zwane. Zwane to the inside centre. It's Makele breaking the first tackle. Inyulu to the captain. Good surge there by Lindani.
You off your feet, leave it. You all off your feet. Green going forward.
Referee judging that Winterrose going forward, and that ball wasn't coming out, so they will have the put in. But we've seen some good defence, we've seen some nice attacking, but some good defence to stifle a lot of these attacks.
Yeah, all a little bit messy at the breakdown point, and not too much ground gain by either team. But still an opportunity here for Winterrose. I think they've actually handled their own put in the scrums rather well, in that they've got it out very quickly. So good work has been done by Tabani Sizela at the back at number 8 for them. But they haven't managed to really be able to use the width of the field very effectively because of the Swallows' rush defence that's really onto them quickly.
Yes, that was a lovely play by Lekwela in that last movement. Spotting, as you said, Gavin, that high, fast-paced defence line, spotting the space behind, putting the chip over, and just mixing it up a little bit on attack for Winterrose.
Someone.
Lekwela looks to be fine there. Here we see again this lovely bit of play by the fly-off, sending everybody for a hot dog from the Swallows back line.
Okay, listen. Let's just leave. Guys.
Brilliant attacking position
off the field, okay? I'm standing
for Winter
here.
Rose here.
Okay? Can we play now? Thank you. Crouch.
Here we see the bench enjoying the day out, having a nice lie down, just watching their teammates put in a very strong performance in the first half. Inyulu against Zele does brilliantly at the back to Inyulu, to Lukela. Lukela to the fullback Zwane. Zwane still going, getting the offload. That's the big number 6, Billy Dutton. Another one with a lot of experience.
Advantage offside.
Oh, that's a fantastic tackle by the hooker, Kota of Swallows. Referee says he was just a bit offside. Good surge there by Marty for Winter Rose.
10.
Referee says Swallows went back 10. Another opportunity for Winter Rose. Be interesting to see what they do here. Opportunity to put points on the board. And they are going to take it. Probably a wise decision by the captain there, just before halftime, getting the score within 7. And Winter Rose will go into the break with their heads held high.
I don't think they have too many options, to be honest. They can't scrum. The lineouts are not what it should be. Tap and go could have been a potential option.
If the tackler is staying in the channel and slowing the ball down. I can only reward you if that guy gets out the way and allows him to place the ball. Right?
Can you check it for me one thing? They're clever. They keep them. Can you watch that?
No, there was no one holding them.
Right.
Yeah, but good try though.
That's a nice way of putting it
was
to the referee.
Time off.
Really, really lovely word there to the
Team
ref.
off.
Saying just watch out for the Winter Rose forwards there. They're clever. They're
Christy.
just bending the laws a little bit, but I'm sure
Just after that second to last
referee
penalty.
Seleko has kept a good eye
There's a
out so
potential
far.
tackle by Blue there. Can we have a look at that, please?
Let's just have a look here. TMO is going to just have a look at what is suspected to be a high tackle by Kota, the hooker from Swallows. It's more of a headbutt than anything.
Well, the law is very clear, and I fully expect that this fellow, Mirka Kota, the hooker of Swallows, is going to get a yellow card.
Yes, Christy.
There was a dangerous tackle by number 2, Blue. He made contact with the head, with the shoulder to head of the player. It was with force.
So, Christy, I also saw it in the replay there. So the way I'm looking at it from the replay is that with the shoulder to the head with force, that's red card.
I agree with you, Archie.
Okay, thank you. Number, just confirm number was number 2.
Like Mbeko Kota of
Sorry,
Swallows
Christy?
is going to be in a lot of trouble here.
Number 2, that's correct?
Number 2, Blue.
And the color of
Number
this
2,
card
blue and
is
captain.
not going to be yellow.
2. Okay, you've tackled the guy late. With the shoulder to the head with force, all right? So that's a red card. Christy, I'm just going to stay with this, can I just stay with this penalty here?
Reluctant
Yes, Archie.
to leave the field, but the rules are the rules, and we know this season that the players are a lot more protected above the shoulder, and anything with force to the head is extremely dangerous.
Shoulder
and
to the head.
definitely warrants a red card in my opinion.
Yeah, that's the law, and 100% good decision ultimately, and I thought it might have been a yellow card, but red absolutely, for all the reasons that our TMO Christy Duprier had to say there to Archie Salako. And unfortunately some disbelief there for Mbeko Kota, and maybe it's his first red card of his career, who knows, but he was somewhat bemused.
It's Archie, not Rasta.
Very disappointing for the hooker. He's had a strong game so far.
Okay.
He was very reluctant to leave the field. As Lukrela looks to add the extra 3, and he does so. And that will take us to the break as Winter Rose close the gap to 6 points just before the break.
So this is why there was a red card given. Have a look at that tackle. It's above the shoulders and it's shoulder to the head. In fact, there might even have been 2 head clashes there. Red card there for the hooker Kota. This could even things out a little bit in the second half too, as Swallows play the rest of this match with only 14 men.
Stanele again with that high hanging kick into the wind. And again Swallows come out with possession. As Mgamde cleans that up nicely. And Kaiser, as per, at every single ruck. Fast, getting the ball out wide. It's a good strong run there by Setu Tom. A great college product.
Counter-ruck is good.
Brilliant counter-ruck by Winterrose. And Lukela has stolen that on the ground. And Nyulu gets the ball out. Spinning out of the first tackle. That's Budaza for Winterrose. Zwane putting ball to boot, finding some space behind. One looks to be rolling out. And that's a fantastic kick by the fullback. And that'll take us to halftime. It's been a physical game. It's been a lot of great running rugby. Koto just receiving that red card towards the end. But Swallows go into the break, 12 points to 6 up.